Oh, hi, it's Pai. Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. We continue on with the Emmy bad ending route. And the last episode, a lot has happened. And in a very, very good way, where we are right now, I would say, a relationship with Emmy. And we had our first kiss on the rooftop, and it was splendorific. But anyways, we are about to go to dinner with Emmy. So let's continue on. My head's a spin all over Muto's class. I'm going to have dinner with Emmy, who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss. I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind and again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in the thoughts of Emmy. Nakai? Hello? It seems like I've drifted a bit too far. What? Yeah, it looks like you contacted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Monto's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Monto brightens considerably. Well, lovely to hear. I hate to have my star pupil slacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Nakai, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Sure. Am I in trouble? Muto looks genuinely confused for a moment. Beg your pardon. He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that? Oh, no. You're not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. I was just wondering what your plans for after graduation are. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't seem, can't really see a reason not to go. Given any thought of what you will study? Not really, no. I figured, excuse me, I figured I'd come up with something when I get there. Muto laughs. Taking things as they come, eh? I argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into a science. I just wasn't sure which one. Ended up with physics, but could just as well have gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there were all sorts of things. Muto trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So, anyway, I did a lot of physics, and well, I've had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are, yes? He smiles at me enthusiastically, as if waiting for me to confirm that, yes, here is where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Motel had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure that out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. Motel frowns and rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed, and then he snaps his fingers as if he remember what the point of all this was. Right, yes, you. Me? Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Motel makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I've always liked the experiments more than the proofs. You're saying that I should study at science at university? Muto seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be. You could even be a charter member. A founding father. Of course, you need to find other members. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start it up with just the two of us. And, I could give you things to read and we can talk about them. I could help you get ready for university as such as well. Wait! Moto rummages around his briefcase, doesn't he? But he's talking a lot, really. There's a lot of lines from him. Damn, I didn't realize this. Read that. And if it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A brief history in time? I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Moto seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Time, space, space-time, black holes, and such. And if that, then it's not that dense. just to see if that sort of thing's interesting for you. You understand? Hang around after class, and we can either discuss it, or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. What? Wow, we can make explosives? He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking. Sorry. Oh. Still, I kept you here long enough for now. Think about science as a career path, Nakai, and I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I leave the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until Emmy's out of practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? Head back up to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emmy anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I could just swing by the track. It's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in her room or something. Oh, in her room. Uh, or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better voice. Or in her room. That's the better. Uh, yeah. I take a quick shower, remembering only to take my medication once I hop out. Now, for a look at this book. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I like where this is going. Hmm. I wake when I start. I say, shit! What time is it? I glance at the clock, reveals that I've been asleep for nearly an hour. Oh, thank goodness. Emmy's practice should be finishing up soon. I throw on some casual clothes and head for the track. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. Emmy doesn't strike me as a very fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot of I have yet to know about Emmy. Despite our newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Oh well, I have lots of time to fix that. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. I'm so caught up in my own thoughts that I hardly register that I'm already at the track. Emmy is nowhere to be found. I don't even see any signs of the track team. Oh, this could be embarrassing. I turn to head toward the girls' dormitory when I hear a shout. Hey, Sal! And hi. Actually, I think this is the first time we actually see her in those clothes. I like it. I like it. I turn around to see Emmy making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some She's changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic looking legs that probably won't fool anyone. I mean, doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile. Hey, you came! I mean, I figured you would, but still. I suddenly find myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Take it all in, man. Take it all in. Well, of course I came. Like, he came, yeah. Now he has to go change his pants. Like, I'd be crazy not to, right? Let me ponders for a moment. You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emmy by surprise. She flushes and smiles warmly at me before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emmy steps back, resting her weight on my back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. I should compliment you more often. Emmy laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk. I throw an arm around Emmy's shoulders, and I'm pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to? I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway? That's a damn good question. I have no idea. Why don't we just head down to the Aura Mart and grab something portable? Emmy's face brightens at this idea. A picnic! I think you're onto something, Hisao. Emmy snakes her arm around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I meant to do in this situation, but at least Emmy seems to be equally clueless. Despite the relaxing feeling with being with Emmy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I hate to make an ass of it out of myself. The trip to the Aura Mart is accompanied by Emmy's chatter. Chattel. How about how practice went? I kept quiet for the most part, merely enjoying the warmth of being around Emmy. We get a few odd looks from passerby, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing it's too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Oh well, I'll make it for lunch or something. That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Emmy. She, of course, blames me. We even find a spot beneath a tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Emmy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Emmy shrugs. I don't mind. Neither do I. Oh, that was me. Whoops, I read it in Emmy voice. That's how good I pay attention. Emmy tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. Curry bread. Interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store. Hey, Sal. You look like your bread's a little spicy. I shake my head, trying to excuse me, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all. I see. That's why your face has gone so red. Yes, exactly. The lack of spices got my blood up. Yes, because of the disappointment. Emmy laughs and swallows the last of her bread. Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm just going to give you mine. Emmy mocks pouts, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter. Aw, come on, Isao. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? We're dating, you know. Though, Emmy looks troubled all of a sudden. I can't say I feel any different. What do you mean by that? What makes this a date? It's just like we would have done anyway, really. But this should feel different because when we had lunch, we were friends. And now we're a lovable buff friends. You sound like Rin. Laughter escapes and Emmy grins. Well, she might have put that thought in my mind. We've talked about that sort of thing before. Really? About me? Not really. Just stuff, really. Rin thinks that the change of label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like there's no difference between the two. I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For a second time today, Emmy's blushed slightly and giggles. I suppose you're right. Exactly. I'm always right at things like this. Emmy rolls her eyes and chuckles. Guess you're pretty smart, huh? I nod in agreement. Yup, I am so smart. I am so smart. S-M-A-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T. Even Moto thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Emmy raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm thinking of it. I actually might just do just that. Really, the more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. I make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. So, what are you thinking of doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Emmy shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant. I don't know. If I'm good enough, I can find the team, I guess. You mean you aren't sure? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Really? You probably should, you know. Graduation isn't that far off. Emmy fidgets a little nervous. Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I got other things to think about. There's a mischievous flash behind Emmy's eyes, and I suddenly find myself gloriously pinned against the tree. Like making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss then, it's not a date at all, right? I almost strawberries and curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emmy sits back on my legs and grins again. There, science would approve, right? I have the oddest mental image of Muto nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. This sounds like that damn anime of scientific. I forgot what the name was, but there was like love experiments and all that. It's a like an anime that came out this year, but I've taken a liking to it, but I haven't really taken my time to it. I should. It looks really good. I can't help but laughing at this idea. Well,
Well, I admit, it's the first time I ever witnessed a kiss being met with laughter. Shall I feel offended?
No, no, you shouldn't be offended. I'm sure science approves. I approve this. In the name of science. Emmy beams at me, and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly.
Oh, good.
As at this point, I've noticed that Emmy has stolen a remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teachers wielding clipboards. Hey! Emmy tries to look innocent, but considering she just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it doesn't appear to be a word.
Oof! Sorry, actually resist.
Thief! I shrug for my companion, is all I get in response. You used your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel that the point needs to be made. Emmy seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment's thought.
Wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles don't involve laughing.
I guess I can't argue with this. That doesn't change your thievery. Emmy laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove.
Fine, you can have the instant noodles.
Are you kidding? That stuff's terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. And another laugh from my girl sitting up on my legs, both of which have fallen asleep by now. What?
Wait, what? I twitched one leg trying to waken it up, which had the unintended effect of unbalancing Emmy, which falls to the side with a startled eep.
Oops, sorry about that. I was like, wait, why did I lean over like that? I was like, whoa. I was like, what happened? She just legs fell asleep on me. Emmy remains on the ground, giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling the nerves in my legs return to normal. My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on a picture of Emmy who has yet to get up. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. It's like, wow. That's beautiful. Her hair is splayed out on her head and her arms are spread, and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Emmy seems condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling, the urge to lay down on the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thoughts. Indeed, I am convinced that I would love nothing more than to do just that. Unfortunately, the sun has set, and it's probably time for us to get back to the dormitory. While Emmy may be happy to stay out here all night, I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. It wouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like a university and then slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Emmy to help her up. We should probably get going. Emmy makes a sour face.
Oh, you're right.
She grabs my proffered hand, and I pull her up to her feet into a hug. This time I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Emmy against me. Seems a shame to leave, you know.
Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to the school soon, we'll probably get into trouble.
Emmy pokes me in the ribs playfully.
And you need to do your homework, I'm sure.
Sadly, you're absolutely right. I throw my arm around her shoulders, and we make the trek back to the school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the particular way that one in the cafeteria work sure smells. Uh, Sorry about that. All too soon, we find ourselves outside the girls' dormitory building.
Well, I guess I'll be going then.
I guess so, huh? And he grins at me again with that mischievous look.
Are you going to be able to survive without me?
I laugh.
I'm sure I'll manage. How terrible. Aren't you supposed to say something like, I'll be coming the seconds you are away?
Nah, I don't think so. Amy pulls me to a quick goodbye kiss and steps back, looking unexpectedly shy.
Thanks for dinner. I really had fun.
Uh,
Honestly, I did.
I think I actually skipped a text. That was my bad. Oh no, I did not. I just hit the thing so fast. Sorry about that. So did I. I think we'll have to do it. We shall do it again sometime. Emmy laughs at my deadpan delivery and nods.
See you bright and early tomorrow morning, right? You gotta run off that bread after all.
Of course, despite the fact that you ate most of it.
Yes, despite that. See you later, yourself.
As Emmy turns to head inside, I notice something weird. Something so weird that I'm surprised I didn't notice it earlier. She's limping slightly, favoring the left leg. Oh no, she has that limp again. Hey, Emmy. Hold on a sec.
But hold that thought. Oh, we're gonna bring this up now, but I don't know. It's all of a sudden right now. Is your leg okay? I mean, looks confused, or at least fakes confusion. What are you talking about? Your right leg. You're limping. There's the briefest flash of concern on Emmy's face. Either that she didn't want me to know, or she didn't think I'd notice. Or I prefer to think just didn't realize it. Oh, that. Shrugs casually. Must have gotten knocked out a little out of alignment during the picnic. No idea what have caused it, of course. I think back to being pinned under the tree. Ah, should have told me. We could have stopped and fixed it, you know. Amy waves a hand airily. Nah, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it, okay, so? It's fine. Hmm. Why do I get the feeling that she's convincing herself as well as me? We're in Act 3, right? I don't think there is I don't think there's any choice. I think this one is like any choice you can make. But to make sure that we are just to make sure that we are in the right route and not being derailed to another thing. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, Act 3 has 4 choices. And this one is we can choose anything. Um sorry, just need to stretch. I don't know. I think there's more to this leg than meets the eye. But do I want to press the damn thing? I really want to know. Are you absolutely sure you don't want to just go ahead and just before heading up the stairs? You could get hurt if you don't, right? I said it was fine, Isao. Seriously, don't worry about it. I've got some experience in these matters after all. Yeah, I suppose so. Emmy grins reassuringly. Honestly, Isao, I appreciate the concern, but I really am okay. Now I really need to get going. Your attempts to keep me around are doomed to fail. Of course, just prolonging the goodbye, I suppose. And then a grin lights up Emmy's face. Good night, Isao. Good night. As she limps inside, I find myself hoping that she's okay despite her assurances that she's fine. I think I can call this a successful first date. Hell, any day that ends with Amy pinning me under the tree to kiss me can't be bad, can it? I head back to my room, mentally thank the gods that Kenji doesn't ambush me in the hallway and get started on my homework. Ugh, we don't want that. The morning is far too early for my taste. It doesn't help that I had trouble sleeping last night. There were simply too many things to think about. My mind refused to slow down. Instead, I replayed the rooftop, the park, and everything else over and over in my mind. There's a small part of my mind that is still paranoid that this has been all some kind of a joke. That I'll meet up with Emmy at the track, and she'll act like nothing happened yesterday. Pushing these thoughts to the back of my mind, I throw on my running clothes and open the door. Emmy's waiting for me with her usual smile. You're late. Or at least you're not early today. Are you tired or something? I found myself ruefully rubbing the back of my head. Something like that, yeah. Lots to think about and all that. Emmy giggles at my mild understatement. Yeah, I didn't sleep well that either. I was actually glad you weren't early because wasn't early either. I wonder if the same thing kept us awake. You gotta mind my dogs in the background. My apologies. Oh, I think. Sorry about that. I think that was my brother getting some lunch. Thought of image of her weeping face passes through my mind. What kept you up? Emmy's expression falters, but she quickly notices my curiosity and forces a smile. Nothing important. She's obviously not telling me something. The question is, should I press the issue? Something clearly has been bothering her for a while, but I want to help her. But would it just come off as just being nosy? She's got to know I care about her, though. Are you sure? If something's bothering you, I'm here to help you sort it out. Amy just laughs then, but it's not her usual laugh. It's just like, this and that, just to it seems that almost bitter. Sorted out? I'm not sure it can be sorted out herself. Almost grim smiles crosses her lips. It's like a smile of resignation. I don't think you can help me anyway. Ooh, that hurts. Yeah, that hurts. I don't want to say that it hurts to her, but it does. Doesn't she realize I want to be there for her when things go wrong? Well, I won't push you on the matter, but I'm here for you. If you decide later and you'd like to talk about it, it might help. I can see the debate raging behind Emmy's eyes. It seems like she wants to tell me, but she's not sure whether or not she can. Hey, forget about it for now, okay? We got running to do. The mention of running something that she can handle brings Emmy back to her usual self. Right. Hurry up and stretch out, Hisao. We've got to get moving. She takes off like a shot, far quicker than I'm used to. Still, I try to keep pace with her, recklessly testing my limits. It gives me a feeling of freedom, like my heart is no longer important. I find myself wanting to laugh, but filled with the feeling of moving beyond what I once called my boundaries. The nurse's warnings to not overdo things echo in my mind, and I disregard them. This feeling I have, the willingness to risk a heart attack for something so trivial as a morning run, feels out of character for me. But is it? Or rather, it should be. Should be. I've got a weak heart, sure. It'll never be able to. It'll never be capable of the kind of speed and endurance Emmy's capable of. Though I probably won't be able to get that good even if I had a healthy start. As we round the final bend, I feel my legs screaming in protest, but for the first time I can ignore them. I accelerate to finish that at a sprint, nearly catching up to Emmy. That was never going to happen, of course. Still, I feel surprisingly good. Or, oh sure, my legs feel like they're about to catch fire, and I'm having trouble staying upright. But been a shift of some sort today, and it's all thanks to the girl grinning at the finish line waiting for me. That felt a little faster than usual. My comment is met with a grin and a shrug. Can't have you think I was going to go soft on you now, can I? But you managed to handle it just fine. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Still feeling high from the run and moved by a surge of gratitude, I seize Emmy in a hug. Thanks. Really, not just saying that. I'm in your debt. Emmy seems flushed by my words, squirming uncomfortably. Don't be silly, Sal. Someone had to haul you out here, didn't they? And it's not like you're doing anything for me, right? I need a running partner, remember? I shake my head, still pointedly not letting go of Emmy, who stops squirming and merely looks at me with a quickly deepening blush that almost seems out of character. No, that's not true. You wanted a running partner, but you didn't need one. If I hadn't shown up the day after the festival, you would still run, right? But it doesn't work the other way around. I only managed to make it out a few times before the festival, and without you, I probably wouldn't have made it out at all after that. Emmy smiles at me and prods my chest with one finger. You're pretty lazy, Hisao. Hey, I was giving you a compliment. Well, you're welcome, I guess. I'll pay you back. Oh, I'll pay you back somehow. Oh, well, that's not necessary, you know. I mean, I kind of like you, Hisao, and being able to run with you in the moments isn't actually exactly a bad deal for me either. So, for someone who gets so much praise, she seems unused to gratitude. I can't think of anything else to say, so we fall silent. I become aware of Emmy's breathing, of the dampness of her clothing, and of the scent of her. Coming off any Coming off of anyone else, it would stink. Coming off of Emmy, it fits her in a way nothing else could. Her skin is cool, slick with sweat, and the breeze causes goosebumps to rise. Without thinking about it, I lean down to meet Emmy's mouth, which has already moved to meet my own. Her lips are soft, and she hums happily as we kiss, sending vibrations from her mouth to mine. There is a startling rightness to everything about this moment. We fit one another perfectly. The kiss ends, and I finally let my arms drop back to my sides. Emmy is smiling warmly at me and giggles again. Come on, Isao, we better go see the nurse. Then it happened. Oh no! She turns to begin walking. She gives out a tiny yelp and stumbles forward. Oh, Emmy! I thought it was gonna be my heart, but that's her leg. I leave to steady her and notice with some concern that she's favoring the same leg as the last. Your leg. Emmy seems panicked and pushes away from me. It's fine. My expression must seem hurt because she hastens to apologize. Sorry. I didn't mean to push you like that. I was just. She stumbles for something to say. It's nothing, really. Hey, don't worry about it. She's so flustered, I decided to shrug the whole thing off. But there's a cold feeling in my pit in my stomach now that won't go away. I tried to step in and help her, but she pushed me away. Smiling, I shoved those thoughts to the back of my mind and concentrated at me. I just don't want you getting hurt, that's all. You don't have to worry about me, honest. I'm fine. Yeah, you say that, but I don't believe you. Why won't you tell me what's wrong? It's like she gets offended by my trying to help. What am I supposed to make of that? I'm still trying to sort out what happened on the track as we arrive in front of the nurse's office. Emmy raises her hand to knock, hesitates, and turns to me smiling guiltily. Hey, can you do me a favor? Of course. Can you tell the nurse that I'll see him later? I just remember I got some stuff to take care of before class, so I really need to get moving. I peer her closely, and she fidgets under my stare. Yeah, she's clearly just avoiding the nurse. That leg of hers. Well, whatever. I said I'd help, and so I will. But I'll make damn sure she sees the nurse before the day's out. Yeah, okay, I'll let him know. I mean, it looks like I've just given her a pony on Christmas. Yay, thank you so much. You're the best, Hisao. I'm rewarded for my complicity in her lie by a kiss that makes it all worth it. Or so I tell myself. As Emmy heads out of the building, trying hard not to let her limp show, I knock at the door of the office. Uh, Hisao, come on in. I don't see Emmy with you. She's not sick again, is she? From the tone of his voice, I don't think the nurse is expecting me to say, yes, she's ill. She said that she forgot to do something, so she had to skip out, but she'll see you later today. The nurse heaves an exasperated sigh. Honestly, that girl. Hmm? She's been avoiding me. Yesterday she was in and out of here without even taking off her prosthetics, and now this. Well, at least it's not just me. Emmy doesn't want worrying. That's a comfort, I guess. Still, I feel like I should say something about her leg. I said I lied for her, but she really needs to see him. Now that you mention it, she was limping pretty badly today. And last night, as well. And the nurse's eyes narrow at the words last night. And what exactly were you two doing last night? We're on a date. The nurse raises his eyebrows as if surprised. Really? Interesting. Huh? Oh, nothing. His gaze turns thoughtful, and then he grins at me. You didn't think you could use some of that boyfriend charm to get her to come see me today, could you? Of course. I was planning on doing that anyway. I think she's really hurt and just pretending she isn't. Yes, she does that. I'm afraid I'll make her stop running. Will you? I don't like to, but if it's bad enough that she's been limping, well, I guess I'll have to see what's wrong for myself before I make that call. I see. And me not allowed to run? Oof. Perish the thought. I don't know if she'd be able to function without running. No wonder she's reluctant to admit anything's wrong. Well, I'll make sure she sees you. Good. Oh, and before I forget, he grins at me in what feels like a vaguely threatening manner. Don't forget that I know what medications you're on. You be careful around enemy, got it? Wow, he looks serious too. Got it. Don't hurt Emmy. Wouldn't dream of it. Grand. I hate for you to be late. Huh? Late, as in the late Hisao Nakai. He frowns briefly, dissatisfied. Sounded better in my head. Well, at any rate, get out of here before you miss your first class. You've got things to do, I'm sure. Shoo! As I leave, I notice the nurse putting out his phone and dialing a number. Oh, I think it's talking to Emmy's mom right now. Michael, your daughter's being a pain in the ass again. I better head back into my room, or I really will be late. Hey, wasn't he supposed to check my heart rate? Oh yeah, he never did. What the fuck? The lunch bell sounds, and I bring myself out of the stupor I slipped into during the morning's classes. My lack of sleep last night, coupled with the increased pace of this morning's run, has left me a little exhausted. Despite that, I found myself skipping the stairs up to the roof. There's a thrill of excitement now, in addition to the pleasure one gets from eating lunch with one's friends. True, both Emmy and Rin are still my friends, but Emmy has become more than that now. I wonder, honestly, with that limp, I wonder if she's up here. Rin is back in her usual spot on the roof, almost as if she's never been absent. Oh, why are you doing late on the roof? Emmy, Rin, feeling better, I take it? A raised eyebrow is my reward for speaking. Better than what? Better than you felt yesterday. Rin gives my question some serious thought. I'm not sure. I think I might have felt rather good for some of yesterday, but it's all fuzzy. Too much cold medicine? Well, I was asleep, and that usually is pretty good. But I can't remember what it feels like to be asleep, because I'm not conscious for it. It's a real problem. Then again, if I knew how good it felt, I might not sleep anymore. But this way, I kept trying, so I guess that's how I keep from being overtired. An eternal mystery to keep you sleeping at night? Maybe mystery is the wrong word. Intangibility might be a proper way to describe it. I see. No, I don't see it at all. I have no idea what she's talking about, but that's okay, since I rarely do. Do, do you remember what sleeping feels like? Like yesterday, do you remember what it felt like sleeping yesterday? Well, I actually didn't get a lot of sleep yesterday. Maybe that's because you remember subconsciously. Actually, I would think I was worrying about Emmy. Doesn't Emmy worry enough about herself? I hadn't considered that, but it gives me a pause. True, but would she ask for help if she needed it? Red frowns and I raise an eyebrow. Will I get a proper answer? Probably not. Is there something she should be asking for help with? Her leg, for starters. This seems to catch Rin's interest. Leg? It's hurt, but she won't see the nurse about it. Rin shakes her head in disapproval. You have to make her. Like she makes me go to class for her own good. Otherwise, she could lose her legs again, and that's just too weird. Losing things twice, especially if you don't find them again to begin with. Unless prosthetics are the same as finding something. But that's a different kind of loss, isn't it? I think so. I wonder. What? Wonder what? Oh! Oh, hi, Emmy. Emmy seems to have snuck up on Rin and me, though Rin doesn't seem especially surprised, which is itself unsurprising, I suppose. Rin manages to sit herself upright quite expertly, throwing her upper body forward and losing her momentum to right herself. Your leg, how does it feel? That earns me a frown and a bit of a glare. It's okay, I think. Not worth worrying about. Tell that to the nurse. He's quite insistent that you visited him, you know. Emmy pouts like I've just told her that she's been grounded. He worries too much. It's not a big deal, just a little soreness. I try to resist rolling my eyes in exasperation. If it's nothing, then you should have no problem seeing him, right? Emmy narrows his eyes suspiciously. Did he put you up to this? Well, maybe. A little, just a little. But that's not the point. I would have reminded you to see him anyway. It would have been terrible to see you really hurt and not around doing anything about it. That would make it worse. And I don't really want to see you hurt, you know. Call me crazy, but I kind of would prefer you to see you happy and healthy. With each statement, Emmy's frown fades a little more, until eventually she's grinning, a little shyly. Well, if you're gonna put it that way, then I guess I'll have to see him. Otherwise, you'll keep worrying, and then I'll never hear the end of it, right? That's right. I'll keep bugging you about it, and that might put a damper on our dates. How's that food, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emmy. How's your day, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emmy. Hisao, I think I'm ready to go all the way. Talk to the nurse, Emmy. See, it doesn't work that well. Emmy giggles at my high-pitched rendition of her own voice and gives me an affectionate shove. My voice isn't that high, jerk. I thought it was pretty accurate. Emmy and I stare at Rin for a while before I burst into laughter. Emmy crosses her arms and hopes, mock offended. You're both jerks. Such vile calumnies from you, young woman. I'm stunned that you would call me, of all people, a jerk. Honestly, I just, I just don't know what to think. Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. You ass. So Rin, how's the art club these days? Rin, seemingly as surprised by the sudden change of topic as I am, takes a minute to think before answering. I believe it is okay. Although Nomoya keeps telling me to work harder, but I don't think he understands my methods. He always struck me as a slightly creepy. Rin ponders this statement for a while. I never really noticed, but I don't pay much attention to him most these days, so maybe that's why. How often do you meet? Thinking of joining his house? What? Nah, I have already decided to join a club. Really? Which one? Well, it's not really much of a club, to be honest. Oh, so you joined the tea club? No, I joined the science club, I think. Emmy looks highly confused. We have a science club? Not really, it's just me. Hisao, that's not a club. That's sitting in your room reading books. No, I mean, it's just me and Muto. I'm just the only student so far. Muto, really? A thought strikes her. Oh, is that what you were talking about yesterday? Your meeting with Muto? Yeah, that was our first meeting, I guess. Emmy giggles. Nerd. Hey, I can't help being clever. You know, I could have used your help years ago. You should have had your heart attack earlier in life, Hisao. I laugh, and then I realize this is probably one of the very rare times I laughed about my heart attack. Hindsight. Yeah. The ring of the bell ends our conversation. I guess we better go. Yeah, I guess so. Come on, Rin, you too. Rin has apparently begun to doze off, so Emmy gives her a sharp bump. I almost had it. Sorry, but you need to go to class. I disagree, but maybe if I nap in class, I'll get it this time. Changing location is sometimes helpful for that kind of thing. Neither Emmy and I bother asking what it is. As we arrive in my classroom, Emmy gives me a quick kiss and heads down the hallway, Rin in tow. I turn to enter the classroom, but met by a duel of Shizune and Misha. Misha seems to be fighting a losing battle to keep breaking into a fit of giggles, which she translates Shizune's latest rant. Wow, while we're pleased, may thrilled, to see how well you managed to make new friends and forge a relationship with such a cutie too, Hee-chan. I think that last part was probably Misha. We nevertheless feel compelled to reply to remind you that the public displays of affection are strictly forbidden. Really, that's disappointing, Shi-chan. By Section 8 of the Code of Conduct laid out in the student handbook. In this case, however, ignorance of the law may be your excuse, as we are feeling in lenient. And the paperwork required to punish both of you would only add to the already mountainous volume of work which confronts us, the sole members of the student councils, and besides, you two are adorable together. Therefore, consider this as a formal warning, and please refrain from such displays in the future, at least when Shizune can see you, Hee-chan. The whole spiel is so patiently ridiculous that I can't help but reply in the same pompous manner. Well, I, for one, feel enlightened. I apologize profusely for my rash actions, and will strive to contain my baser impulses, which I feel impel me toward such inappropriate displays of public affection. It is hardly my wish to burden an already overworked student council with such petty matters, and I will do my best to make your lives easier in this matter in the future. At least when Shizune is watching. This last line is delivered with a wink to Misha, who finally loses control of her laughter. Well said, Chan. Chuckling a little myself, we enter the classroom. Class is uneventful, and after the final bell rings, I find myself alone with Buto again. So it looks like we've all assembled for the second meeting of the science club. Or is it the first? What do you think? Should we count yesterday as a meeting? Well, we did form a club yesterday, didn't we? That seems like club business, so we could safely call it yesterday a meeting. Buto smiles in his usual stilted and awkward way. I wonder if the muscles in his face aren't just not shaped correctly just to let him smile naturally.
You really have a knack for this, I think. Logical thought processes, that is.
I guess so? A scientist speaks with authority, so the answer is yes, I do. When the world wants to know it works, we tell it. If we've all we got is a decent hypothesis. But we sound certain anyway, we must sound certain anyway, because we are we're the authorities of the subject, right? He chuckles to go along with his awkward smile at this awkward joke. I'm doing my best not to grimace, but I don't think I'm being too successful. That's entirely false, of course. We know a lot. Sure, nobody's an expert on how the world works, if only because nobody can be sure. With no certainty, there are no experts. But we like to pretend sometimes. There's some things we can be certain of, right? Yes, but no. We know gravity's there, for example. To illustrate, Muto picks up a pencil and drops it. See? Still there. But it's good to check every once in a while. That's why you'll still see some researchers mucking about it with gravity. We're pretty sure we know how it works, but there's always a chance that something isn't how we think it is. So you check and check and check. That's science in a nutshell, you know. The whole time I've listened feeling rather spellbound. Muto seems to be really passionate about this stuff. I think it's hard to tell sometimes how the world works, how humans work, how the universe works. All these questions to be answered. And depending on what I go into, maybe I could even figure out a way to fix my heart. That said, I don't think that's a real priority for me. Besides, as we start discussing the book he gave me yesterday, I find myself more and more interested in my heart condition. Before we even realize it, an hour's gone by. Well, let's call this meeting over for now, okay? We'll have another meeting tomorrow or the day after. Consider this for a moment. Call it the day after. I got a lot of grading to do. Okay, see you then. As I exit the classroom, I realize that I don't really have anything to do tonight. Emmy and I didn't make plans, so I guess I'll go to the library. It beats doing homework in my room anyway. The library seems cooler than the rest of the building, probably to keep books from getting damaged by excessive heat and humidity. Books are sturdy objects, but if you want to keep them in good condition, it takes a little effort. I got several books that are so well worn the pages are barely clinging onto the spine. It seems impossible for them to still be usable, but if you handle them well with care. I make my way to the main desk where I spot Yuko, busying herself with something or another. She smiles at me as I enter and waves. Hello, Hisao. Good to see you here again. What are you looking for this time? Uh, Nothing in particular, I guess. I just didn't really feel like going back to my room is all. Yuko nods. Well, if you're unoccupied, maybe you can help me look for something? Sure, what do you need? Yuko brings a finger to my lips and looks around furtively. She seems to be looking for eavesdroppers. Come closer. I take a few hesitant steps forward while feeling distinctly unnerved. Yuko lowers her voice to a confidential whisper. I'm on the trail of a Yamaku cat burglar. The what? Shh! The walls have ears, Isao! Or they might. But listen, those missing books, remember them? Yeah. Well, they were missing. They were stolen. I'm convinced of it. I remember you saying something of this sort earlier, but how do you know? Yuka leans closer and, if possible, whispers even lower. Because I found one in his hiding places. You did what? Yuka looks triumphant. Found one of his stashes. It was under one of the stairwells in the boys' dorm. Those 3 books I've been looking for, all there. I suspected a thief before, but this proves it. So, did you take back the books? Yuka looks as if I've just suggested she might walk around naked. Are you nuts? She can't know that I'm onto him. He might go around and evade capture. Uh, huh. So, what do you need my help with, then? Yuko casts another glance around the library and leads in closer. You've got to spy for me. Spy? Yeah, like when you're in the dorms, you know? Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. What constitutes suspicious, anyway? I mean, Kenji's a pretty suspicious dude, but I'll wager he barely goes to class much, less sneaks into the library to pilfer books. Still, what's the harm in saying yes? And at the least, it'll get me out of this weird conversation. Yeah, I can do that. No problem. Yuko straightens up and claps excitedly. Great! Now hurry up and talk about something else in case someone comes in. How's the school treating you? Pretty well, actually. I've been running in the mornings with Amy Ibarazaki, right? Yeah. I mean, how did you know? I've served you two in the tea house, remember? I did. I deduced that if you're going to run with anyone, it would probably be her. She looks pleased with herself. Impressive. Anyway, yes, we've been running in the mornings, and we've kind of started dating. Yuka claps her hands together, excited. Really? That's great. I bet you two are great together. I love seeing people find one another like that, you know? I would even thought to myself when you walked into the Shanghai that one time. I wonder if that kid will wind up with one of those girls. Really? Yuko doesn't seem to notice my somewhat weirded out tone and nods affirmatively. Yep, I could tell that you wind up with one of them, you know? I've got an eye for that sort of thing. Of course, her expression droops slightly. I'm not so good at it myself. Aw, I'm not sure it's not true. Oh, but it's true. I met this guy once. We got along really great, but it turned out he was younger than me. And that was kind of weird, but not terribly so. What was really weird that he disappeared one day and not seen him since then. Huh? That does kinda seem odd. Doesn't it? I hope it wasn't something I did. I feel comparatively sure. I'm sure it wasn't. Oh, I tend to try to calm her down further, but both of us jump in surprise at the ring suddenly coming from my pocket. Yuko sighs and to steady herself, and I pulled my phone from my pocket. I feel a little sheepish for indirectly causing the incident. Emmy, what's up? Oh, thank God. I haven't called your phone before, so I didn't know if this number would work or whether you pick up, and I can't. Whoa, 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 Emmy, slow down. What's wrong? There's a pause on the other side of the line, during which I can hear Emmy trying to control her breathing in order to calm down. Something's got her terribly agitated, and it's starting to agitate me. Can you just Can you stop by? Like, now or shortly after now? I really, really need to talk to you. There's a tone of pleading in that last sentence, and I don't think I've ever heard from her. Of course, I'll be right there. Hold steady, okay? In my increasingly agitated state, I apparently started saying things that I don't quite make sense. Okay, I'll be okay. See you soon. I pressed the button to end the call before slipping the phone back into my pocket. Apologize to Yuko for running off and run on off. Perhaps at some point I would have stopped to think about the time or how suspicious it looks for a guy to enter the girl's room dorm at this hour. Except right now, I'm just concerned with getting to Emmy and finding out what's wrong and how I can help her. I knock at the door and I'm greeted with subdued, "Come in." Something is very wrong as I stare at the scene before me. Emmy's there, yes. But she's in a wheelchair, and her legs are missing. I glance around the room and see them sitting in the corner, looking like they've been thrown there. Emmy responds to my entrance with a lopsided grin that is both pleased to see me and completely utterly heartbroken. Hi, Sal. It looks like she's been crying. But if she was, she stopped by now. I noticed that I'm a little out of breath, having taken the stairs two at a time in order to get there. My heart doesn't seem to mind the strain, though I filed this happy fact anyway for a later consideration. Like when I'm not staring somewhat dumbstruck at my girlfriend in a wheelchair. Realizing I've still not responded to her greeting, my brain lurches into gear. Emmy, what happened? I guess I should have listened to you, Hisao. My leg's got a nasty infection. I'm not allowed to run on it for at least a couple weeks. She gives me a bitter laugh that shouldn't be coming from her. I can't even walk on it. I should have used a crutch and kept one of my legs, but I didn't see the point. Why hop? You can't run on one leg. At least this way I can still, I don't know, roll fast or something? Yeah, that's good, right? My awkward attempt to look on the bright side seems to appreciate it, but not really effective. Yeah, that really didn't sound well, dude. And he shrugs again. It's just kind of a nuisance. I mean, we can't even eat up on the roof now, no wheelchair access. Yeah, but that's not a big deal, right? I mean, we can still eat together, and that's the important thing. And that lopsided grin again, it hurts to look at. I suppose so, yeah. But like I said, it's a nuisance. I mean, haven't really used a wheelchair in, she thinks for a minute, maybe 7 years? Or something like that anyway. A long time. I'm afraid I'm a bit out of practice. Well, fortunately it's only temporary, right? I mean, nods. Oh yeah, of course. It's not like I've lost them permanently, but it's a pain in the ass all the time. I nod sympathetically. There's not much else I can do, after all. What am I gonna say? I told you so? Although I did tell her to get that leg looked at. But by the time I noticed, it was too late anyway. Do you need help with anything? Or, that is, can I help with anything? Emmy shakes her head, and there's a bit of her usual grin back. Nah, I can manage fine by myself. Although, if you want to join me, help me over to my bed, it would save me the trouble of rolling over there myself. I blush, in spite of myself. Emmy giggles. You're such a prudy, Sal. I'm not a prude. I just wouldn't want to take advantage of a young woman such as yourself. That's ungentlemanly. I wheel Emmy's chair to her bed and easily scoop her up and deposit her there. She quickly resorts herself and sits on the side. This music. I've, I don't think I've heard this music track on this part yet. I don't remember. Probably I did, but I just don't remember. But when I heard this music the first time, it was my time with Lily, Jen, and things happened. Yeah. I wonder if this is it actually, and then I have to cut it out because unfortunately I can't show it. Uh, anyways, she's actually a little heavier than she looks. It wouldn't be rude for me to observe this aloud, of course. Hendrik, you said it though, man. You said it would be rude, but you said it anyways. You see, you got smacked. Of course you did. Well, at least it was with a pillow, not a hand. Ass. Just saying, that's all. It must be all that running. At the mention of running, Emmy's grin falters slightly. Yeah, well, I guess I won't have to be worried about that for a bit, huh? Maybe I'll lose some weight. That's what you do to lose weight, right? Cease physical activity? I'm pretty sure that's what the nurse would recommend. S- Speaking of which, are you going to be still showing up in the mornings? I hate to run along. Ah, shit. Emmy's sudden interjection, more like a disquieted muttering than anything too profane, causing me to look over in shock. Yeah, I think she just realizes that we can't meet up in mornings. Unless, unless she wheels herself like this, maybe they'll work on the arms, right? But, I think she needs some help getting up actually because of that. And unfortunately, Rin, her situation, she can't help her. So I'm guessing we were gonna have to help her get ready and all that. She's leaning forward to trying to cover the fact that she's crying by covering her eyes with a hand. Of course, the subdued sobbing makes it pretty obviously that she's crying. Hey, I'm sorry. Forget I said anything, okay? Release a hand gingerly around her and pull her close. I can think of nothing else to say or do. How do you comfort someone who just lost her legs again? Emmy wraps me in a hug and stays that way for a while. Sorry. I'm pretty bad at this whole comforting thing, I guess. Don't say that. I'm fine, really. Her voice is slightly muffled by my chest. I pat her head reassuringly. That's the spirit, right? You'll get through this, fine. I know it. Besides, I'm here to help you, remember? Emmy lifts her head and stares at me with tear-streaming eyes. Can you? Can you really? She's grinning lopsidedly, and something sparkles in her gaze. I can tell if I'm being mocked or not. Of course. Sure, you're a bit heavy, but my witty comment is cut off by some impressive Emmy's lips on mine. I'm caught off guard, and I'm rewarded by hitting my head on the wall behind her bed. Ow. Emmy pulls back, trying to look concerned rather than she's about to laugh. Are you okay? Sorry. I rub my head ruefully and grin back at her. Caught me off guard there. Is that going to become a habit? Because am I going to be lectured by Shizune and Misha more? At the mention of the duo, Emmy giggles. Honestly, those two. If I didn't know why, I'd be utterly confused as to why she hangs around with someone so bossy. Which one are we talking about? You know exactly which one is out. Misha's hardly bossy. So what's the reason then? Huh? The reason why Misha hangs around Shizune. Amy waves my crescent off with a smile. No idea. I see. Anyway, you seem to be forgetting the original question, don't you? Oh yeah, I guess I am. You wouldn't mind giving a guy a little warning, would you? Otherwise, I'm liable to wind up with a concussion. Emphasize the point by running the back of my head. Emmy giggles madly. You could wear a helmet. Some kids do here, do you know? Or I could just take revenge. I grab my pillow from beside me and whack Emmy over the head. Emily tumbles off the bed and lands on the floor with a thump. The end. No. Emmy, her arm probably reappear on my bed and she manages to pull her thumb back up. She really has a surprising amount of strength in that little body. Her face is turned downwards and away from mine, making me think I might have accidentally hurt her. Emmy, are you okay? You didn't hit your... A hand shoots up and grabs my collar. She pulls me in with a sharp tug, her face now barely an inch away from mine, and she grins cheekily. Emmy? Oh, she gives me a sharp headbutt, our foreheads making quite a loud thud. Damn, she headbutted me to hell. I sit back and rub my now sore head as Emmy smirks victoriously. How's that for revenge? No fair. Can't take revenge for revenge. For someone missing most of her legs, Emmy's surprisingly agile. I swipe at her, but she definitely rolls out of the way and lands a hit with her pillow. Of course, the odds are against her. I can stand up for starters. Hello. Oh, this is a nice sit. I guess I can't. After all, Emmy seems to have effectively tripped me up, and now is sitting primarily astride me as I lay at my back. I'm not sure how she managed it. I win. Say 1, 2, 3. Down for the count. Her eyes twinkle mischievously. I've been thoroughly defeated, and by a girl that has a fraction of my size at that. Then again, being defeated doesn't seem quite so bad. In that position, no. It doesn't feel it doesn't seem so bad at all. It's not bad at all. Emmy being positioned over my waist is something or my body can ignore easily. I want my lips to speak, but Emmy head darts downwards before I get so much as a word out. I give no resistance as she presses her mouth to mine. Not that I want to. This is different, somehow. She pulls back, nips at my lower lip, and reinitiates the embrace. Her tongue darts around the side of my mouth, exploring. I can feel the warmth spreading through my body as my heart begins to beat faster. My mind starts to go foggy, as I become barely aware of my hands traveling up Emmy's blouse. I guess as I reach the breath. Then there's a giggle, and then I stare up at a grinning enemy. Told you, that makes my second win now. What? That doesn't count. You was feminine wild. All's fair in love and war, right? You're even blushing. I didn't know you were blushing, Sal. You were blushing too, you know, probably because of your prudish ways. Even though, I gotta admit, this is a stupid thing to say to a woman who's currently straddling me and has been up until a few seconds ago, playing tonsil hockey with me. A prude, am I? Well then, let's see who blushes first, shall we? I'm not sure whether the tone of her voice terrifies or arouses me, but that question is quickly made rather moot. Mmm. Damn. I did not see this coming. I did not think it was gonna happen that fast. But I had a feeling after seeing this scenery here, I had a feeling it was going to happen here. But I didn't think it would be that fast. I thought it was going to be like some music change and then it's fun time. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this part. I know we've been going for an hour strong and huh, wow, what a way to end it. And next time on Let's Play Katawa Shoujo, we will rejoin these two after the deed is done. The deed is done, oh yeah. See you guys then.